sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Back in the building. Welcome back to Rims and Ropes, man. Back in the building. Is Luka and Embiid about to team up? Celtics are red hot. And I got some WrestleMania post-WrestleMania predictions as far as storylines, where I think the champs are about to do, where I think certain wrestlers are going to go, and who are they going to feud with coming up right now. First of all, let's get straight into it, man. Did y'all watch the Mavericks and Celtics game on Wednesday? I believe Sixers won 116 and 108. Joel Embiid had a pretty decent game. Luka's not playing too great right now. I think he's still hurt. And they're not in the play-in tournament as of right now. Currently, they are the number 12 seed, right? Let me just get that right. They're only a half game behind OKC right now. So they have a chance to still make the play-in. They're one less win away from tying up OKC, but I don't think they're getting that. That's besides the point. They might as well just lose, right? Don't even worry about the play-in. Don't worry about the playoffs. Joel Embiid is a free agent after this season. Now, why is it that this entire year, no one has said this is Embiid's last year on his contract? I mean, not even a peep. They usually do, okay, where is this guy going to go? Is he going to re-sign? Or how much money does he get? He has got slighted for a few MVPs. So you would think they'll have somewhat of a narrative there just to say, hey, man, I think this guy deserves a brand new contract. I think he deserves the max money. I think he deserves a 5-year deal. But no, none of that. There hasn't been any talks, no trade talks, no front office talks as far as like how can they make the team better. Now, Joel Embiid has never had a great team or any consistency since he's been in the league, honestly. Now, first couple years, I believe he didn't play because he was hurt, or he played sporadically, or he didn't play enough games. There was always coaching changes. There was always roster changes. There was always front office changes. Colangelo, Elton Brand, now Daryl Morey, Ben Simmons, James Harden, all these, coaching decisions, Brett Brown, now Doc Rivers. He's never had 3 solid years of a great team or anything that seems like they're invested in Joel Embiid. They're always trying to find these little pieces to complement the guy that's playing with Embiid. Like, they'll go out and get shooters for Ben Simmons. They'll go out and get defenders to help the load on Ben Simmons on the perimeter. They'll draft a Matisse Thybulle just to help on the perimeter. And none of that really complements Joel Embiid. Like, for Joel, I guess you could say shooters, yeah, because he's a paint guy, but not necessarily. Those guys that they went out and got, they were on the court more with Ben than they were with Joel Embiid. I say that to say their conversation after the game was super lengthy. And I posted a video on TikTok, and people were like, oh, no, you're overreacting, bro. They're just friends, this, that, and the third. Have we ever seen Luka and Embiid really, chop it up like how they did after that game and any other game previously? No. And it's so interesting to me that, all players do this when they're talking because you're not into their business because they're probably talking about places to eat, to, hang out after the game, stuff like that. But I found it interesting that as James Harden is walking over to dap up Luka after the game, Joel Embiid hesitates on what he's talking about. And to me, I'm no lip reader, but I believe that, he was telling him, like, yo, you're the best player. This is your team. Don't worry about what Kyrie's doing and all that. This is your team. And I think Joel Embiid has had the perfect opportunity to slide into that second guy role because he's clearly not getting any recognition as being the best player on the Sixers. He's leading the league in scoring for back-to-back seasons and still no recognition. He should have got the MVP at least 2 years ago. You can argue the one last year because of the numbers that Jokic have, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from Mr. Jokic over there. He deserves to be MVP, all that good stuff. Cool. But Joel Embiid being your second best player on the team, I think that's his best opportunity to win a championship. And like I was just saying, he's had a season and a half playing with James Harden. We all know James Harden and Luka have similar play styles, extremely similar play styles. They're both, got that Paul Pierce, I'm slow, but I'm a speed up when I need to type of game to where I can get to any spot I need to. I have the ball a lot, I'm real ball dominant. But Joel Embiid is still going to get his. If Harden is averaging, 20 and 10 right now, and Joel Embiid's averaging 33, So him going to play with Luka, he probably dropped down to like 27, 28, which is really good. You don't really need Embiid to do anything more than that if Luka's going to be on the team. All I'm saying is, bottom line, get ready for that because Joel Embiid is a free agent. Luka Doncic needs help. I don't think Kyrie's going to stay. Kyrie's a free agent after this season. LeBron's a free agent after this season. Why is there no focus on the free agency as of right now? Are we waiting for the draft? Are we waiting for the CBA deal that just kind of went through this morning? The details came out this morning about a new 7-year CBA deal and all that mumbo jumbo. Hey, Joel Embiid, if you want a chance to win, go to Dallas. You can kickstart the rivalry of the Luka and Tatum rivalry. You got Luka and Embiid versus the Jays. Book it. That's the new Golden State, Cleveland, 4 years in the finals, back-to-back type of thing. Every other year, one of those guys win. That is the championship for the ratings. Speaking of the Celtics, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to wait until the playoffs started. It was like, all right, yeah, the Celtics are starting to roll again. They're looking like how they were at the beginning of the season. Jason Tatum is shooting really efficient. His three-pointers are dropping. For all the people that say he takes a lot of threes, he does, but when they're falling, you can't really say anything. But the Celtics put a big old hurting on Milwaukee. And yes, everybody's first thing is, oh, they played 5 games in 7 nights. There was their last game on the 5 span. It was a back-to-back. They're tired, this, that, and the third. They were home, though. I'll give them that. But for them to lose by 40 points, which I think was their worst loss ever, especially Giannis's worst loss ever. The fact that Boston did that to them twice this season looks like Boston's not worried about them. And if everybody thinks Milwaukee is the best team in the league and Boston has been playing with their chicken scraps against these guys, Tatum and Brown are averaging 70 against these guys. I think it's time for everybody to realize that the Celtics are going to win this year because they have to do it for Bill. I keep telling everybody, they got to do it for Bill, man. They have to do it for Bill Russell. Celtics are red hot, though. I don't see a team really giving them any problems in the playoffs. They've beaten the Sixers 3 out of 4 times. Their 4th game is this coming Tuesday. They've beaten the Milwaukee 2 out of 3 times, and that 3rd time that they lost, Tatum or Brown did not play in that game. It went to overtime with their bench team. The only team that they've ever struggled against are the Orlando Magics and the Cleveland Cavaliers, which they're not going to see the Magic. And at the current standings, it doesn't look like they're going to see Cleveland anywhere in the playoffs. I mean, Cleveland's a 4-5 seed. If Boston could get the 1 seed and, Milwaukee drops down to 2, they have an opportunity to see Cleveland in the second round. If Cleveland could get past the Knicks. It's exciting, though. Current standings, the 6 playoff teams right now. You got Milwaukee at 1, Boston 2, Philly 3, Cleveland 4, New York and Brooklyn 5 and 6. Now, Boston is only a game and a half back out of that number 1 seed. And it's about 5 games left. Milwaukee does have a tougher schedule than Boston. I think they have to see Philly again one time, and they have some other important games that they have to deal with. I think Boston could get that number 1 seed. I would think they would want the home court advantage because they have to repay their fans from last year. But quickly, if Jason Tatum plays like this the entire playoffs, are we ready to anoint him as the next guy of the league? Yes, Giannis is still the best player, but guess what? Jason Tatum will be the guy if he decides to play like how he played in these last 2 games, not to mention that the Jazz game was a back-to-back after playing Milwaukee, and he dropped 39. Still efficient, and they had travel issues. Not making any excuses or trying to give him any extra credit, but hey, just get ready. Let's go over to the rope side of the pod, man. It is WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania weekend is here. Today is currently April 1st. It is night 1. Stand and Delivers is about to start in about a half hour, so I'm going to wrap up this recording soon. Here are what I think is going to happen after WrestleMania. I did want to do last-minute predictions, but since it's so close to night 1, we're only about 5-6 hours away from night 1. I think I'm going to do this. I'm gonna do where I think certain wrestlers, what their next storyline could possibly be. Let's start at the top, right? Roman Reigns is retaining. Let's get that out the way. I think we all know that as a community here. Roman Reigns is definitely going to retain here. So what I think next happens for him is, right? So Monday, WrestleMania, or Raw after WrestleMania, whatever. Maybe Randy Orton comes back. they finally get a chance to do that match, because Roman and Randy's only wrestled once, I think, in their entire career as far as one-on-one action. I remember 2014 they had some one-on-one action, and that was kind of when Orton was a little upset about certain things. But I think that's kind of the next, because that also helps Cody. Randy comes in, gets a program with Roman, loses to Roman, but then right after that he gets into a program with Cody. But in the mix of that build-up, Randy comes back and tries to tell Cody, see, you're worried about telling Solo he's not ready when you're still completely not ready. You've had matches and whatnot, which is cool. You didn't do it. You don't have a full build-up. I think Roman Reigns, honestly, people are going to hate me for this, but I think Roman Reigns needs to hold the belt for one more year. Give him a full 4-year term, make it like he's a president and stuff. Give him 4 years, and then have Cody get built up within the from WrestleMania to WrestleMania, and have him dethrone Roman there. Within the mix of that, he gets a lot of character development of, all right, all the old storylines that Cody used to go through, kind of revisit those a little bit, have him go in matches with certain people, certain rivalries that Stardust had a little bit, and to show the character development, the growth of where he was before, he left and as he returned. So I think that's something that Cody could do. And for Roman, like I said, Randy will be his next opponent, and probably after that, they can, try to do the Bobby Lashley thing. Bianca Belair, I think she's going to retain, and she's probably the most interesting character right now that is dying for a real storyline to where, it's like 3-4 months of TV. Now, they can obviously bring up some NXT talent for Bianca and probably tell one of those NXT stories. I'm trying to think of who she had a lot of feuds with in NXT. I can't think at the current moment. But I think Bianca Belair is going to hold the title for, another, at least by the end of this year. I don't think she loses it anytime soon. Maybe Alexa Bliss comes back. They revisit that. I know she's dealing with some stuff, so that may not happen. But look for an NXT call-up to happen, and that for that to be Bianca's next opponent. Tag champs, let's go. Tag champs. They're retaining too, by the way. Just because Roman's gonna retain doesn't mean the Usos are gonna have to lose. I know a lot of people want to see KO and Sammy complete the objective and take the title and break up the bloodline. But newsflash here, they are a legit family, and just because they lose titles doesn't mean the bloodline's over. They're literally related, so they're gonna see each other pretty much every month. But I think they retain. And what is interesting to me, the go-home show on SmackDown, as the Usos and Sammy and KO cut their promo, as the Usos are leaving the ring and going up the ramp, Street Profits come out, right? They're getting ready to do the Fatal 4-Way match, one person from each team for the showcase. And they do a panning thing where they do a little storytelling here, like foreshadowing that the Usos are going to have to see the Street Profit again. Even though the Street Profit have been losing, I think this reset after, the WrestleMania showcase that they're going to be in, I think they win that. And then I think they start to string together a couple wins. And eventually, I think the Street Profit are going to be the team to take the belts off the Usos. Not Sammy, not KO. I think it's similar to Cody. They didn't have enough time for their story, right? So the story was prolonged and things of that nature. Cody's won at WrestleMania, but he didn't really have a run. Sammy and KO haven't had a run yet. They haven't teamed up yet. So obviously the Usos can use that to their advantage as far as chemistry. Now, yes, they're best friends. Yes, they probably know each other, but to be a team and to kind of fire on all cylinders, that's going to take a while to develop on TV for people to really care about that. So I think the Usos retain, not to mention your enforcer, Solo Sikoa, has nothing to do this entire weekend. So, of course, he's going to make sure the family stays relevant, help the Usos win if he needs to, help Roman win if he needs to. Moving on, Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley's next opponent. Actually, I take that back real quick. Bianca Belair's opponent will probably be Raquel Rodriguez. I was just thinking about that. But Charlotte's going to lose the title to Rhea. I think we all see that one coming. Charlotte hasn't really kind of developed anything since he's been back. We all know Charlotte's just here to just kind of get 16 championships to match her dad and stuff like that. So that's besides the point. That's cool. Rhea Ripley, it's time, for the younger talent to get their time to shine. And I think Rhea Ripley is going to start to just take on just, opponents. Maybe she fights Liv and stuff like that too, but she's going to start her reign probably next pay-per-view. I'm not sure what the next pay-per-view is, but it's probably WrestleMania Backlash. So look for Rhea Ripley to probably get into a feud with, somebody like a Shotzi or somebody just to kind of establish a victory. U.S. champ, the future of WWE. Yes, I said the future of WWE. It's not going to be Cody. It's going to be Austin Theory. Cody's going to kind of be, the transitional guy until Austin is really ready. Austin Theory is going to beat John Cena. Of course, Cena's old. He doesn't need the U.S. championship. I've seen a lot of people try to make scenarios like, okay, Cena's going to win to set up this match and that meant no. Theory's going to retain, and Theory is going to have a Bobby Lashley type U.S. title run. His next opponent may be somebody that matters, and most likely probably somebody that don't matter. It's kind of hard to go from John Cena to somebody else and continue that type of hot streak. I see Austin Theory retaining, and I see maybe his next opponent could also be an NXT call-up because, Raw after Mania, a lot of people get called up within that week. Or maybe somebody like a Chad Gable. Chad has been really hot as of late. You want to kind of reward guys that's been doing pretty good. So look for somebody like that to kind of be the next storyline for Austin Theory. And as that happens for him, his build is more so he's beating John Cena. Where can this guy go next? So for the people that haven't been paying attention about Austin Theory, he's been kind of getting the rub from all the potential GOATs, right? He's had the moment with Stone Cold at WrestleMania in Dallas where he took the stunner. He's had the moment with Roman on TV with the whole who's your daddy thing. That was kind of a big rub for him. He's just kind of taking everybody's best shot. Now he has the match with Cena. And he's going to beat Cena, which is, the undisputed GOAT in everybody's, hierarchy of wrestlers. Moving on. So look for Theory to, like I said, have a dominant run for the rest of 2023. He'll probably hold the belt up until Royal Rumble if they want to take it off him and kind of, catapult him into the main roster or the main, Roman title picture. Or Cody, who knows? Cody may win it. I think that is IC title. This is the interesting one, right? So what's one title that's missing from the Bloodline, right? The Bloodline are SmackDown wrestlers. The IC title is missing. Now, just because it's a triple threat, I assume Gunther is going to lose the title. I don't think he's going to get pinned, but I think he's going to lose the title. I think Sheamus finally gets his WrestleMania moment because Drew's kind of had his big moment, right? Even though it was in COVID, there wasn't a lot of fans right there. But Drew has been the guy next to Roman for a while. So Sheamus hasn't gotten his moment yet. Gunther has had a nice little, 700 days as champ at the moment right now. I think Sheamus gets his moment. I think he becomes the IC title, the champ. And I think for him, I don't think he's going to have that title very long. I think your enforcer, Solo Sikoa, is patiently waiting to take that belt. And I don't think they wanted Solo to take the belt off of Gunther because they haven't worked together at all. There's no story there. And yes, you can kind of do he's doing it for the Bloodline. Roman says, hey, I retained at Mania. The Usos retained at Mania. Solo, it's your time, which I think is Solo's time in the Bloodline. Anyway, I've expressed that numerous other things as far as the Bloodline story is getting stale to people. And it's like, all right, it's time for Solo's turn to kind of be the main character arc under the Bloodline story. So look for Sheamus to kind of win the belt and maybe around SummerSlam or Money in the Bank. Maybe Money in the Bank. I'm not sure what the next pay-per-view is after Backlash, which if Backlash is the next pay-per-view, look for Solo to capture his first main roster goal, stamping the Bloodline as the best faction in WWE history, and eventually being your new tribal chief. But we'll save that for another video. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody tapping into this video. Yes, Sirski, I appreciate everybody having some fun. It's WrestleMania weekend, man. I should be live somewhere right now if you're seeing this, watching this, hearing this. Hey, man, we'll talk soon. I'm out of here, bro.